Welcome back, campers. This is our last session of day 2. I'm excited to be here with you all. I'm excited for this session. Jordan is doing some amazing stuff on social with Talkdesk, and um, we've just been keeping an eye on him for a while now, and so I'm excited for him to actually share a lot of his knowledge and expertise with you all. Before I bring him on, a few reminders. This is being recorded. You will get access to this on demand after the event is over. There's a Q&A tab at the top right. Please do use it. Ask questions. We're going to make sure that we have a little bit of time at the end for Jordan to go and answer some of those questions that you have. And then please engage, chat, polls, Q&A, everything. Obviously, there's a prize and there's giveaways that we have throughout today, as well as the following days for the rest of the event itself. But I'm not going to keep talking here. Ultimately, I just want to bring on Jordan so he can get into the good, juicy information. So Jordan Tennenbaum is the head of social media at Talkdesk. He's been in the B2B SaaS world for over a decade. He has a lot of great experience building processes at scale, making them repeatable, especially with content, especially in this AI-supported kind of world that we live in now, where we're all trying to leverage AI as best as we can to scale. And so with that, Jordan, I'd love to welcome you up and have you kind of share with the audience, with the campers, your knowledge, your wisdom.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. Really excited to be here. Should I just jump right into it?
Go for it. Yep.
Fantastic. Well, today, just want to say, hey, everybody. It's really great to meet you guys. Welcome to Goldcast Summer Camp 2025. You all have already been here for a while, so I don't really need to say welcome, but like was just previously stated, I am your host, Jordan Tennenbaum. I'm the head of social media at a company called Talkdesk. We're about 1,500 employees, and I'm a one-man army doing all things social there. Today, we're going to talk about how to build a video engine that feeds itself, meaning something that is repeatable and sustainable for the B2B SaaS world. So if you care about video content, yet struggle to create it efficiently, this is the campfire for you. So let's jump into things. So, quick little bit about me, so I'm not just a random talking head on your screen. Oh, I apologize. I'm supposed to have an agenda slide here. Okay, we'll talk about an agenda first, and then we'll jump into a little bit about me. But we're going to cover why creating a video machine can be so challenging. We're going to talk about how to plan and build a successful video machine. We're going to discuss how to actually create and deploy the video machine that feeds itself. I'm going to cover the tools that are required to succeed when you do create said video machine. And then I'll kind of talk about my personal results and learnings and takeaways that you guys can steal and utilize from building a video machine. And then, as mentioned, we will talk about a Q&A. So just a little about me. So like I said, I'm not a random talking head. I work at Talkdesk. We're a B2B SaaS company, like I mentioned. We just crossed 280,000 followers on LinkedIn and quite a bit more if you combine all of our social channels. But Talkdesk is an AI-powered contact center software that has customers like Patagonia, Lego, Michaels, IBM, Canon, Fujitsu, and PBS. So some of the stuff I'm saying is, has a little bit of backing. I'm, again, not just a random talking head, but a little bit about Talkdesk. Let's say you're returning a product and you need to talk to a chatbot or a customer service representative. We make that happen in a super fast and easy way without you having to call and press 6 and then 2 and then 4 and then you being hung up on by a robot. So we basically automate that entire process for enterprise companies using AI. As mentioned, I've been in the B2B SaaS space for about 11 years, 7 of which were in sales and the rest being in social media marketing. So I kind of come at this from a different perspective. For most marketers, I'm really interested in how things like video can help fill the top of the funnel and convert into paying customers. Just a little bit about me personally. I'm a dad of a real human. I also have 2 adopted Chihuahua mixes. I collect cactuses, and I'm just honestly a normal guy who really loves working in social media. And I'm a huge advocate of using AI to make myself and those around me better at our jobs, be more efficient, and just smash the competition when it comes to social stats. And one of the ways we do that is by using Goldcast. I'm a massive fan. I'm an avid user. I have it running on some clips in the background as we speak. That's enough about me. Let's get into the good stuff, actually creating a video machine. So I want to open up and be completely honest that creating a sustainable video machine is really hard. And I've been there where you're kind of struggling to do things manually, editing videos, adding captions, wasting hours of your time, watching a really boring webinar that you probably don't care about just to find one little nugget of gold. And it really does not have to be that way. So let's talk about why it can be hard. First, and honestly, the thing that most people probably come across is that there are so many software options out there. Some are good, many are not. Goldcast, good. But we know how restrictive budgets are these days, and wasting money on something that your company will not use is not something that your company will tolerate. You also don't have a ton of time. You have a million other projects and campaigns and posts to work on. So you need to find some type of video editing AI tool that is quick, easy, and ideally painless. And obviously, your boss is probably angry. Hopefully not, but it could happen. A little bit of a joke, but we want to make our bosses happy and eventually get that raise that we're all gunning for. Why else is it hard? Because you need a process that can be repeated day in and day out for any type of video. Ideally, a process done with tools that you already have access to. And lastly, the output of your machine needs to be high because you cannot be wasting time for your machine to get up and running. Excuse me, waiting for your machine to get up and running. If you're waiting around and trying to figure this all out, building that machine is going to be really, really hard. So obviously building the machine is hard, but let's move past that, cut through all the noise, cut through all the BS, and start talking about how to plan your video machine. Step one is going to be, and some of the stuff that I'm about to say should seem a little bit obvious, but having it all in one place is hopefully helpful to all the attendees, especially as we're probably all in this planning phase if you don't have a video machine created yet. But step one would be to examine all of the potential software tools out there. This event is hosted by Goldcast, and as a speaker, I genuinely recommend you check them out. I use them at my previous company. I use them at my current company. They are the best tool with the best UI and the best UX. And most importantly, the most bang for your buck. There's other tools that are very expensive. Maybe they do 2% better job. I don't really know. I don't pay for them. But when you compare price, most bang for your buck will definitely come from Goldcast. Again, I'm not telling you have to use Goldcast, but comparing these tools and testing them for yourself is a really good idea. Maybe you hate the way that Goldcast looks. Maybe you hate its UI and UX. I highly doubt that. But it's always good to compare and contrast before you put money down for a tool to help build your machine. The next step is you're going to want to get quotes from all of the software options that you like that are out there and compare them while taking into consideration their features, capability, UI and UX, like I mentioned. You're going to want to include key stakeholders at your company, like your boss or whoever approves new tools and new budget. You want to keep them in the loop. You don't want to surprise them with anything last minute. And then you'll probably want to do the hardest thing, which is ask for budget from those stakeholders. When you're asking for a budget for a tool like Goldcast, it is not hyper expensive. You typically get pretty good results, especially if it can save you a lot of time and lead to a high output and a high ROI. How do you do this? I would highly recommend that you put together some sort of a proposal that really shows how much time you will save, how efficient the tool will make you, again, how much ROI a video machine can bring in. And once it's approved, it's time for the fun part, to deploy the machine and get that engine firing on all cylinders. So, creating an actual video machine. We planned it out. It's time to actually do it. Let's talk about how to turn this software, in this situation Goldcast, into a true video machine. So if you don't already know this, I hope you do. Goldcast works by ingesting videos and turning them into repurposed content for you, your brand, and your brand's employees to share to the world. By including Goldcast as part of your machine, you're going to create something that is really beneficial. How do you do that? You're going to learn how to use Goldcast, test it out, learn the UI, ask for a demo, ask for their customer success team to walk you through how to use it, learn the UX, get into the nitty gritty of the features and the details so you are comfortable using it in the future. It's like driving a car. You want to know where all the buttons are so you don't try to find the radio while you're on the freeway and crash. Sorry, that's a terrible metaphor. Next, you're going to apply your branding to Goldcast. Upload your fonts and your logos and your colors so that your videos are already branded and correctly post ingestion by Goldcast. And then what you're going to want to do is create docs, whether you use Asana or Google Sheets or whatever, it doesn't really matter. Your documents will help you keep track of all of the video projects and clips that you're currently working on and editing. It will help your team contribute by adding long form videos or webinars that can be repurposed into new content. It will also help your boss understand how much work you do and the results of that work. I know like get documents is kind of like a silly thing to say, but I have like a whole process of all of these documents that help keep me and all of my work in line. It just makes it so much easier that my teammates can tap in and add links to webinar recordings. And just I'm a big fan of documents to keep everything in order. I use Google Sheets. We'll get into that more later. Whatever you use, Monday, Asana is totally fine. After that, you kind of have all the groundwork laid. You're going to want to set up some sort of a process. For me, this is exactly what it looks like. My coworkers, I have some specific ones who either create or gather video content that can be from campaigns, from webinar, from the executive leadership team. And they all know that when a long form video comes out, they add it to my Google Doc. Like in my script, I wrote special document. They add it to my special document. It is my special document because it has all of the video content that I need, and that is very special. Once that happens, I enrich the document with more data, including the recording date, descriptions of the video, a landing page if other people want to see the webinar in full, for example. Then I download the recordings and I send them to Goldcast to be clipped, and I double check that they look and sound good, that they're clipped on the right words, that if I do include subtitles, that they're all correct. From there, I take data from that special sheet and I send it to my design team with specific instructions for each video and request things like music, cards before the video, cards after the video, a thumbnail, things like that. They work their magic and they send the video back to me. I use Google Gemini's AI-powered gems to write SEO-focused video descriptions, and then I push the video publicly to YouTube or other social media channels when I'm done. From there, I schedule it on my social media calendar, and I share it to, again, whichever platform is the best fit. I just kind of want to reiterate the process. I gather everything in documents. I send the recording from those documents into Goldcast. Goldcast gives me a bunch of clips. I get the clips and I send them to my design team. My design team turns the clips into fully fleshed out Talkdesk branded videos. They send them back to me. I use Gemini to generate things like descriptions and whatnot. Then they're put into my social media tools. We use Sprout Social. And then from there, they're published onto social media channels. Pretty simple process, but it sounds a little bit complicated unless I really break it down like that. Just some kind of cool details. For each clip, on average, it takes me about 10 minutes of my own time to do that entire process, generate, share, and publish. It takes about a minute to gather and enrich the data, 5 minutes to send to Goldcast and let them do their AI clipping, 3 minutes to send it over to the design team with specific instructions, and then 2 minutes to schedule and share to YouTube, and maybe a minute to generate an AI description. With long form video, I'm usually getting multiple clips at a time. So the time per video is in actuality a lot shorter than 10 minutes. That's my machine. It's my setup. I really, really love it. It is so simple and sustainable and repeatable, and makes me look really good to my boss because of that. kind of process that my machine has created. I apologize. I had a updated graphic here that wasn't like Amish people building a structure, but it really showed that full process from my document to Goldcast to my design team to Gemini to Sprout Social to social media channels. Apologies that didn't get in. I know that would probably make it a little bit simpler, but regardless, I hope you guys understand the process. Let me go to the next slide so we can keep on trucking. So I know I'd mentioned some of these tools, but let's talk about some of the tools that I do use. I'll keep it really simple because the video machine can get complex. I already talked about how I gather videos and dates and descriptions in Google Sheets, send them to Goldcast to be clipped. I also store unedited clips in Google Drive. When I send stuff to my design team for bumpers and thumbnails, we use Jira, a tool that Atlassian provides. And again, I use Sprout Social to schedule my social and video content with videos and Gemini to write those descriptions. So that's it. I keep it simple. There's some other tools on there that I also really like and that I use in my day to day. If you really want to get advanced with maybe your video editing, or if you're using something like Elgato, like a Stream Deck, to speed up the process, you totally can. But I promise you, with the tools that I've listed, you can create a really well-oiled machine that's not too complex, that works every single time, and is repeatable. You do not need to use the tools that I'm using, but if you do use them, it will make your life pretty dang easy. So I've talked about everything from planning to deploying to the tools that I've used. I want to talk about the results and learnings that I've had setting up a video machine powered by Goldcast. So the first, probably most important thing is don't do anything manually. Use software. We are in the AI age right now. And if you can do something more efficiently and quickly with software, just do it. Take the time to learn whatever new software it is, whether it's Gemini or Goldcast or Sprout Social or something like that, and turn yourself into an asset for your company. Start saving time, start being more efficient, start generating more ROI by using software and reducing manual work. It will really save you in the long run. In line with the previous point, it's pretty similar, but step 2 is really to rely on AI. Goldcast is AI powered, Gemini is AI powered. There are so many tools out there that honestly, with like a YouTube tutorial, take 5 minutes to learn, and they will help you so much. Following that, please keep an eye on your analytics and watch as your channel grows. For me, in 2 months, we uploaded like 80 net new videos to our YouTube channel, almost all of them clipped from Goldcast. This resulted in more views, more subscribers, longer watch time, which of course translates into potential customers filling the top of the funnel, which again, your boss really likes. And lastly, the thing to keep in mind is there are no shortcuts. One video you share, most likely from a webinar, is not going to go viral and get you millions of followers and hundreds of thousands of dollars. But the whole point of this entire conversation, this dialogue, is to help you create a sustainable video machine that can generate high quality content consistently. And you've all heard slow and steady wins the race. There are no shortcuts. Just put in the work and watch slowly as your numbers trend up and to the right as you start to build out and deploy this video engine that we're talking about. So, takeaways. I know this is a little bit similar, but I kind of wanted to distill some extra information that hopefully is helpful that you and your team can effectively utilize with your video machine. Again, rely on your team. You cannot do this on your own, so don't try. Like I've said, talk to your boss, gather those relevant stakeholders, and be sure they know how your machine works and operates. The little bit that they contribute will go a long way, from gathering videos and sourcing them to editing them. You need your team. Again, whether it's the design team, the marketing team, it's all super important. The next thing that's important is don't be afraid to ask. Your boss, excuse me, sorry. Spotify just started playing through my headphones and I have no idea why. So I had to stop that. But like I said, don't be afraid to ask your boss. Ask your boss for budget. Ask your team for help. Ask your coworkers to share the content that you create across social media. Just don't be afraid. It might feel awkward. It might feel weird. But sharing that content is really, really important. Having budget is really important. And having a team supporting you is very, very important. Next, always be efficient. I know I said this, but if you can do the same work in less time, you'd be shooting yourself in the foot not to take advantage of that. And in step with this, always be learning. Learn new tools like Goldcast, embrace AI. And as I've said a few times, make yourself an asset, grow your career, and get paid. The video machine will be one of the many pillars that will help you get paid and advance in your career. I think another thing that I just want to note is perfection is not obtainable. Your videos will not always be 10,000% amazing. Your descriptions might contain mistakes. Your team might mess something up or use the wrong music or have a spelling error. It's okay. Just operate with grace and allow your machine to do the work for you, because over time you're putting in the work, and that is what will matter. Everything really can be fixed. And this is probably the most important one. Share your success. Tell your team, tell your boss, make a post on LinkedIn, and make sure that everyone knows that you're providing endless value to your employer. It's the easiest way to get recognized and appreciated, and ideally get a raise. So we're kind of closing in. We got about 3 minutes left. I want to open up the floor. It's time for the little Q&A where I can answer your questions, read your comments, hear your thoughts. I will not literally hear your thoughts, but feel free to type them out to me. Presentation is over, but again, I want to be an open book and help you achieve your goals in the social media B2B video space. So I believe Adnan has been monitoring the Q&A because I cannot multitask in my life. So I will pass it over to him.
I have a couple of
and
questions lined up for you
in.
here. Yeah, I have a
Please,
couple of questions lined up for you here, Jordan. And I know we only have a few minutes. I think Jordan did say he could stay on for maybe like 5 or so minutes later. So
I can do
we're
a
trying
little
to get through as
more.
many.
I can do a little more.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Sounds good. We're trying to get through as many questions as we can. And so actually, I have a question that's very channel specific, and I would love to get your answer because I know a lot of people have been thinking about this. So like, how do you see video performing on LinkedIn? LinkedIn has made a push around video, it seems like, over the last 6 to 12 months. Have you seen anything specific on that channel?
I would say that embedded video, much more than YouTube videos, gets quite a bit of engagement. It has a pretty high engagement rate, gets quite a bit of impressions, shares, comments, likes. I think one of the challenges is that a lot of people turn autoplay for videos off on LinkedIn, and that can definitely hurt engagement. And so, what I would suggest is having a really cool, catchy thumbnail to make people, if they do see it and it autoplays, keep watching. If they do see it and it doesn't autoplay, click to watch it. So I think video is super important on LinkedIn. We've launched tons of products recently at Talkdesk. Almost all of them have had some video component or multiple video components on LinkedIn. I am 100% a fan of video content on LinkedIn. Just make sure that it's, professional.
Yep, that's great. Great advice. We actually had 2 questions here, one from Manish and one from David. Let me pull the one from David on screen, but they're about the same topic. All right, you had mentioned SEO focused video scripts. Could you elaborate what that means, how that works?
Yeah, sure. So I'll be completely honest. I am not an SEO expert. But if you type in YouTube SEO best practices onto the internet, you'll get a whole bunch of lists of like 15 different things that kind of help YouTube descriptions be SEO friendly, so that when people are searching for videos, it makes them a lot easier to find and a lot more likely to pop up on YouTube's algorithm. So what I would do is find a few of those articles and copy and paste them into a Google document. And then I would go into Gemini and say, because Gemini is created by Google and YouTube, one of them owns the other, I forget which, but I would say to Gemini, please give me a list of all of your SEO best practices for YouTube video descriptions, and it'll probably come up with a list of 10 or 15 or 20 things. Copy that and put it into your document. and then create a gem on YouTube, or excuse me, a gem on Gemini that's specifically for writing YouTube video descriptions. In that gem, you can upload that mega document with all of the best SEO practices. And then anytime that you ask for a YouTube video description based on a video transcript, it will create one that is very SEO focused and will help your video perform as good as possible. If you don't know a ton about Gemini and gems, do a little YouTube research. I think it's better than ChatGPT. I don't, whatever. Some people like one, some people like the other. Our company pays for it, so I definitely use it. But create a gem that will allow your video to have a SEO focused video description. Not necessarily script. I see that question, but description, not script. Sorry if I did not enunciate that.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's what I thought you said. So I want to make sure you clarified. So I'm glad you did that. So we have actually a question here that's specific to Goldcast, but I think it could be more general. Like, how much time can you save using Goldcast to repurpose specifically event content in this situation? Like, I've seen a lot of our customers who used to take hours, sometimes weeks, to get even stuff back from people. Like, it would take them maybe like 5-10 minutes now. But Jordan, I'd love to hear from you. Like, what did it look like before in terms of time commitment to now? And I know you went to a couple of those, things of how long it takes in minute wise, but yeah, I'd love for you to share from your perspective, like how much does it actually save you in time and effort?
Let's cut out all the annoying stuff and say a webinar or an event is 1 hour. If you're watching it on 2x speed, it's gonna take 30 minutes, and then you're gonna have to clip that in, like, let's pretend you're using Canva. Clip it, add subtitles, whether you have an SRT file or you're using another piece of software to add subtitles like v.io. And let's say there's 5 clips, then you got to add, bumpers and this and that. Let's pretend it takes an hour. That's being like, that's probably takes 2, but let's pretend it takes an hour. I could just upload that webinar video that is an hour long to Goldcast, drink a third of a cup of coffee, which I'm doing right now, and in 2 to, I don't know if your internet's slow, 7 minutes, you have 5 clips generated with your subtitles, with your font. All you got to do is just double check them to make sure that they look and sound good, and then download them. So maybe that takes 15 minutes total. So rather than an hour, you're looking at 15 minutes for 5 clips. Honestly, I don't think doing it manually would take an hour. It'd probably be closer to 2 hours. So if you need to generate 5 clips from a hour-long webinar, you can do that in about 15 minutes using Goldcast, maybe 10 if you get really good at it, which is kind of where I'm at.
Cool. No, that's what we hear quite often. So I'm glad it's similar in your situation too. So I'll maybe go through 1 or 2 more questions here. There's an interesting one here by Eric who asked, is it better to have webinars with slides, minimal slides, etc.? Jordan, I love your perspective from, like, you are taking webinar content, other content that other teams are, creating, and then you are putting it on YouTube and other social channels. From that perspective, like, what's the best way to, like, have it so that it works well so let's say for YouTube, is having a video with, like, the slide showing, or like what's the best setup there to make sure that it's getting the most engaging content into those channels?
It's tough because just having talking heads is not always great. Just having slides can be pretty boring. And frankly, the marketing team or whoever who is putting on these complex webinars is probably not even thinking about what's going to make the best clips. So I'll be honest, the best would probably be something more engaging and customized that's kind of in between a webinar and a podcast and a video. That can be pretty challenging to set up for something that typically can be done with just slides, but some kind of combination of both. And Goldcast makes it really easy to kind of switch camera angles, zoom in on specific speakers. If the slide's boring, you can zoom in on the speakers. If the speakers are boring, you can zoom in on the slides. I think it's kind of like with AI, garbage in, garbage out. But if your webinars or content is very interesting, then when you clip it, it will also be interesting. So I'm not going to tell you like do slides, don't do slides, do talking heads, don't do talking heads. Some kind of dynamic, engaging combination of all of the above will be your best bet. Unfortunately, it probably is not going to happen because marketers will often create webinars without, like I said, that in mind. But if you can work with them and educate them on why it's important, not only are they going to have more entertaining webinars, you're going to get more entertaining videos and clips to share on social.
Yep, that's good advice. And obviously, trying to make the video as dynamic as possible, changing the scene is a great way to kind of capture attention as well. So I'm gonna leave us off on one final question. This whole topic was around how to create a system around video content, especially for different channels. And so we have this great question here from Susan on how do you keep your video planning and repurposing organized? You mentioned a lot of docs that you use. Anything high level that you want to share with Susan, how you keep all of this organized?
Yeah, so I have a list of, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tabs that is like my video engine, if you will.
Mhm.
So I have my kind of like magic documents. There's 2 different ones. One's for specifically webinars and one's for all other video content that helps me keep track of the title of the webinar recording date, descriptions, a recording link, a link to the actual webinar landing page, and whether I have clipped it in Goldcast or not. Then I send that recording link to Goldcast and it clips a bunch of videos. And so then I put them in my Google Drive that's just a folder for unedited clips. Each set of unedited clips is its own subfolder. From there, I have like Jira and Atlassian open to keep track of what I've sent to my design team for edits. Once they've created them, I have another folder for finalized videos within Wistia. From there, I download, I know this is a lot, sorry. I download the Wistia videos and I, share them to YouTube or to Sprout Social or wherever. And then I have a Gemini tab open with my video description that is SEO minded gem that I've created. And I kind of like follow tab by tab by tab and walk through the whole process from getting the videos from my team all the way to the publishing and description side of things. My engine could probably be a little bit smoother. I could probably work out some kinks and simplify it a little bit. I got a million other things going on, and this is actually working really well for me right now. But it's not easy. I use multiple tools. I have my own way to do it. If I get hit by a bus, it's probably going to be pretty hard for someone else to figure out, but that's okay. I would just say, as long as you know what you're doing, and as long as you keep organized with whatever set of tabs or tools that you want, I would just say put in the groundwork and make sure that you are organized and just like follow that process and keep repeating it. It will make sense more and more as you go along and will keep you organized much more going forward into the future.
Awesome, Jordan. Well, I appreciate you answering questions, but also just sharing your overall system with the campus here today. It was a great look into kind of how you can build a video system to have it be more scalable and really get content out to the right channels. I'm excited for you to see some of the future stuff that's coming out with Goldcast, especially on the editing front. I think it will help speed up things for you even more. But be on the lookout for that in a few months. But thank you again for your time, campers. Thank you for joining us on day 2. We have 2 more days to go. So please be sure to make sure you join tomorrow. We have a great lineup tomorrow as well. But thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jordan, and appreciate the time. Enjoy the s'mores and whatever you're going to be doing after this camp session. Thanks, everyone. See you tomorrow.